What's going on, sports card hobby family?
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
It is another day. It is another sports card video. Today we're going to talk about what else? Football cards. It is Super Bowl Sunday. Who is fired up for the big game? It's sad for Chiefs fans because Chiefs fans have now entered into Patriots fans zone. And what I mean by that is going back 5, 6, 7 years, really pre-Mahomes era, I fell for Chiefs fans. Like, man, you had some good teams, especially under Marty Schottenheimer. You had some good players in the past and just couldn't get over the hump. Well, now they've overstayed their welcome. Now it's just annoying. And I'm not even talking about the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce stuff. I don't even really care about that. It's just the unending Chiefs love from broadcasters and all this. It's kind of like Jordan in the 90s. And I was pulling for Jordan in the 90s when the Bulls were winning all those titles. And it's starting to get to that point where it's like 6 AFC championships in a row, 2 Super Bowl rings, and a chance for a third. Everybody's over it. I'm ready to see the 49ers get over the hump. I would love to see Mr. Irrelevant win the Super Bowl. I think that would be a great story for the NFL. And hey, Patrick Mahomes is going to have another 10, 15 years of trying at this thing. Before we dive into football cards and the new era of football cards, times have changed. A big thank you to our partners, our sponsors for the channel. For today, it is SGC Grading. Man, fast turnaround times, good pricing at $15 per card. For modern cards, no declared values, no clubs to join, no minimums. Your auto card grade, if it's manufactured, if it's pack pulled auto, it is included in the price. So, I mean, as far as value goes, SGC is where it's at. TCG cards, $9 a card. And maybe you want to sell on eBay, but just don't want to deal with the listings and the packing and all of the stuff. DC Sports 87, one of the largest consigners on eBay. I just ship everything off to them. They put it all out on auction. I get my payment, easy peasy, and we're done and we're moving along. Make sure to check out DC Sports 87. All right, guys, football cards, it's all changed. It's all changed, and here's what I mean. I've been listening to guys like SCV Sports Cards, and Ryan Card Collector 2 recently said, you know, we went big on Bowman U. We had a good feeling about Bowman U. Now, let's remember, too, Card Collector 2 is located in Ohio, close to Ohio State University. There's a ton of Buckeye fans. They are crazy about their college football in that area. And, of course, Marvin Harrison Jr., all these guys coming out. And then, of course, the Panini Topps Lockjam as far as, you know, what's going to be in what product we saw. I'll call it the CJ Stroud effect this past year where you had Bowman U, first Bowman's autos selling for huge, huge money. That is not how it's been in years past. It used to be that you had the college cards come out and then 2 or 3 months later you have them in their pro uni. All the college cards, they go way down in price. It's a whole different world now. I mentioned this in a previous video. Panini just signed a kid that just committed to college. He hasn't even played a college snap yet, let alone a pro snap. This kid's going to have 4 or 5 years of collegiate cards. I think we can't underestimate the college football fandom out there. There are a lot of people that just collect, you know, Alabama cards. They collect Ohio State cards. You know, there's different players, like Bart Starr went to Alabama. I know there's people that will buy the Bart Starr Alabama auto stuff because they are Alabama fans and they happen to be Bart Starr fans. So I've seen a rise in college cards. Now, another reason why this could be is just people losing a lot of money on NFL QB cards. You know, going in, oh, who are we going in on, boys? We're prospecting on Josh Allen, or we're prospecting on Joe Burrow, or we're going to go in and buy basically anyone that's not Patrick Mahomes. And even Patrick Mahomes this year had kind of an off year. His cards slid down. I think they've actually recovered here over the last few weeks as the Chiefs have really kind of overperformed with what people thought they were going to do, or at least a lot of people did. You know, a lot of people were putting money in Kenny Pickett cards. Well, you know, as opposed to doing that, the college cards give you a window. So I've been buying Drake May cards. This is the guy I've been buying the most of. And I've got the guy from Washington, Penix, and I got a couple of Bo Nix cards. But most of them are Drake May. First off, my wife went to UNC. He went to UNC. There's the UNC connection. Plus, Caleb Williams is fairly expensive. There's already a lot of spec money, I think, in Caleb Williams. And so Drake May, not that there's not money in Drake May either, but depending on what happens in the draft, Drake May could be the #1 overall pick. If Caleb Williams, whatever, something happens. There's also an assumption that they're going to move on from Fields. We don't really know that. You know, so there's a lot of moving parts with this draft. The one thing I do know, though, is I know there's teams that need a QB and a lot of talk, speculation that teams are going to move up to get a QB like they always do. But if you're looking at it, it's Caleb Williams and then there's Drake May are the top 2. So it's pretty certain in my mind that Drake May is going to be a top 5 pick. Again, we're not going to have pro uni cards for these guys. It's going to take a while for that to happen. And so between the draft, between the start of the season, A lot of what you're going to have out there is just the Bowman U stuff. It's going to be the Bowman firsts. It's going to be that sort of stuff. It's almost kind of like baseball prospecting has run up now to football cards. It feels like that. It feels like we are now getting to a point where people are going to start speculating on the Arch Manning cards. And they already have to a certain degree. And for me, let me just explain too, this is a short-term flip deal for me. So my plan is not to take the college cards into the season unless I've just done really well buying and selling. And then maybe I've got a few left over. I'm like, you know what? Let's see if Drake May is this year's CJ Stroud. That would be the best case scenario. CJ Stroud stuff has been going for crazy, crazy prices because he completely overachieved. Not that people didn't think he was going to be good, but just the Texans team as a whole played very well. They went to the playoffs. There's also a limited nature to the college cards. You don't have 30 different sets that have come out. If you're going to go and you're saying, all right, I'm going to buy into Josh Allen now. First off, you're up against already all the spec money that's in Josh Allen, but then you're also up against all the cards that have already been made for Josh Allen. Now, I'm just using him as an example. So I can understand why people would want to kind of diversify a little bit. Yes, of course, we're going to buy guys that are already in the NFL, and I don't want to buy unlicensed cards and that sort of thing. But I think more and more people are starting to turn more towards, hey, you know what? Maybe the college cards have some legs. And we have seen, SCV Sports Cards has showed where he's bought college autos for $100 and sold them for $1,000. It's happening. So it's not as if this is just a pipe dream. It's a reality. Also with these college cards, the other player that's really been expensive, Marvin Harrison Jr. autographs are pricey. They are just as much, if not more, from what I've seen, than Caleb Williams, which is kind of wild, right? I mean, he's going to be the number one receiver in the draft. He will be a top 5 pick, probably a top 3 pick in the draft. But the thought that you're going to have kind of these college card autographs that sell for that much, a big part of that is we don't know when there's going to be these NFL cards. You don't know when you're going to get your first Marvin Harrison Jr. NFL card, Pro Uni card. So it gives a window of time where people can speculate on it, buy, sell, flip. I'm not saying I'm looking to buy these and hold long term, not at all. But, I've got those guys. I've got my Drew Brees and my Tom Brady stuff for the long-term holds on the football card side. I've got my Bart Starr, Johnny Unitas vintage cards. So the football card space is a lot of fun. There's a lot of moving parts, but this is the thing that's really changed a lot last year and then going into this year and probably years moving ahead. Even if, Topps takes over the license and they get on schedule with products and that sort of thing, I think there's going to be some runway for these college cards. Now, granted, it might not be a year, it might not be 18 months like it is now. CJ Stroud cards now in his college unis are still selling for good money. And he's already played through his entire rookie season. I don't know if it'll always be like that, but there's going to be, I think, some opportunities where you've got a 6-month window. There always feels like there's a buying and selling opportunity in football cards to me right now. And of course, I know, look, injury risk, there's a lot of risks with football that you might not see in some of the other sports. But like I was saying, if you're kind of playing the short-term game and the speculation game, especially for me, I'm a huge football fan as a Saints fan, and I'm excited about the NFL draft anyway. And now if I've got some of these college cards, now I'm even more excited because it's like, okay, where are these guys going to go? Is that going to be a good team for them to go to? Is there going to be a lot of excitement around that player? So this gives me the opportunity to buy into these athletes before they've got the pro cards, which frankly, and we all know this, the Caleb Williams Pro Uni cards, they're just going to be a lot more expensive. These college cards, they're not. Like these Drake May autos, I've been buying them at $70, $80, $90, $100. The most I spent, I think, was $150 for a card, and that's for either the first Bowman or maybe some of the Leaf stuff. And a lot of them are great-looking cards. So anyway, it is a fun time. It is a new era in football cards as we celebrate Super Bowl day. I hope you all have an amazing time watching the game. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.